गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Pancadasi chapter 11 verse number 7, and here the student, the teacher is telling, the teacher Vidyaranya Swami is talking about the bliss, the anandam, and here the way he says in the first verse that Brahmavid Param, not Brahmavid Paramapnoti. He said Brahmanandam Pravakshyami Jnate Tasminna Sheshataha Ehi Kamushmin Kanartha Vratam Hitva Sukhayate. He Pravakshyami, I declare, I tell you, Brahmanandam. What is Brahmanandam? And having known this Brahmanandam, Jnate Tasmin Asheshataha, meaning that what all the troubles, all the miseries that are there, they are removed once and for all, once we have abided in this bliss that is our essential nature. And to substantiate his statement, he is taking some of the quotes from the various scriptures, and here in this first he takes, which one he took? First one he took is Anandam Brahmano Vidwan Na Vibheti Kutaschana Etameva Tapennaisha Chinta Karma Agni Sambruta. The knower of the bliss of Brahman is not afraid of anything or being. The worry born out of the fire of karma does not inflict any pain to him. Why? Because he is established in Ananda. Ananda is the most expansive state that there is. It is the cause of all causes. And once a person recognizes his nature or abides in this bliss, then there is nothing else other than that bliss. See? Nothing other than that bliss exists for him, because that bliss is his own essential nature. And in the previous verse also he said that all the five elements, space, air, fire, water, earth, they will live in fear of this Brahmananda, they live in the fear of this Paramatma, because without this conscious principle they cannot exist. And then now a question was raised by the student that it is said in the scriptures that one has perforce to go through the prarabdha, sanchita and agami karma before getting liberated. So how is it possible that the man of wisdom is untouched by his karma and karma phala? So when this previous statement was made, that such a person who is established Anandam Brahmano Vidwan, such a person, he is untouched by karma, he is untouched by joys and sorrows, he is untouched by likes and dislikes, he is untouched by pap and punya. Because once you are free of karma, all these things become null and void. And therefore, the student is having a doubt that we see the wise men still going through the pain, still going through what you call suffering and miseries. For us, that is the view, but from when the statement is made that he is not affected by all these, what does it mean? Is it possible that Pap and Punya don't affect him? Because we see that there are three types of, there is the collective karma, there is the one karma which is expressing at this moment, and that is the karma which is still to fructify. So these are the ones. And is it possible that such a man of wisdom is unaffected, untouched, undisturbed by the karma, that any of these karmas? So here, to remove this doubt, the teacher quotes from Mundaka Upanishad. This is one of the most famous verses of Mundaka Upanishad. Vidyate hridaya granthihi, vidyate hridaya granthihi, छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः, छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः, क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि, क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि, तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे, तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. When the wise man, the knower of Brahman, comes to know the unmanifest and the manifest aspect of the self, the knots of his heart are cut asunder, all his doubts are destroyed, and all his karmas and their results are nullified. What is this knot of the heart? Bhidyate. Bhidyate means to pierce through, to break open. Hridaya Granthi. Hridaya is the heart, Granthi is the knot. The knot of the heart. What is this heart and what is this knot? Another word is called the cave of the heart also. So what is this knot? This knot is made in such a way that the same thing has gone around and round and is appearing as a knot, but when given chance, it undoes itself. You don't have to undo it. It undoes itself, given a chance. And this knot has appeared out of us not accepting who we essentially are, which is we are not accepting ourselves to be the conscious principle. And because we are not attentive of it, not accepting that that is my essential nature, that is called ignorance. Why we are not accepting it? So the scriptures are given one cause. What is that cause? Ignorance. Then that ignorance then has children. One is, first is when you are ignorant about something and you want to know, then desire is born. And when desire is born, automatically it prompts you into action. And as long as this desire and desire for knowing yourself is a valid desire. But when you act in the outside world to complete this desire, it keeps you in the loop and you will never be free of the knot. The desire is valid at this moment, that's why we are all here, but the attention must be not in doing something, but the attention should be on the Atmic principle. It should be on the divine principle within. Recognizing that all doing has to be undone in order for this desire to be eradicated. Even this desire has to vanish. Only then the self will reveal itself.
Can the knots of the heart be also the attachment to possession?
That is part of the loop then. That's the part of the loop. At a more general level, it's ignorance, kama, karma. And that karma, naturally, when you have a desire for something, there will be attachment. You see? Then the attachment comes. Attachment doesn't come.
Swami, this bliss of the Brahman cannot be experienced by the mind, isn't it?
cannot be experienced by the mind.
So it is beyond the mind.
It is beyond the mind.
Experience.
And if the bliss is experienced by the mind, it will go away also. So a lot of people, today we are sitting in meditation, one guy and myself, and उसके बाद meditation के बाद मैंने बोला अरे यार नशा चढ़ गया, I am intoxicated when I came out of it. I couldn't walk straight, and but see, that state went away. So the joy that was experienced on the seat of meditation, it didn't last long. So yes, we use the word bliss, we use the word ecstasy, but it comes and goes. It is not the permanent state, isn't it? So we want to reach the permanent state. So yes, the mind will experience all those things as you move towards, as things get undone in your mind, you will experience it, but you have to give it zero value. You have to just be, you have to be unattached to that also. Seeing it for what it is. What is it? Just an experience which is coming and going. Otherwise we get caught up in that bliss, and then we want to experience it again and again and again and again. At a very subtle level we are caught up in the loop, in the granthi. Tasmin paravare drishti sati. When the man of wisdom has discovered his nature to be both para and avara, these terms para and avara can be interpreted in two ways. See, one thing you will understand very clearly, according to Vedanta, there is nothing called individuality. So whenever we use the word individual in Vedantic text, in Upanishads, in Vedanta Sar, in Pancadasi, in Upadesh Sahasri, all the texts that we have done, it is not talking about the individual here. It is talking about that one individuality, which is the individual phenomena, which is expressing as many. And what is that first individual phenomena? Wherein the infinite expresses through the conditionings. What is that? Hiranyagarbha, not Ishvara. Hiranyagarbha, Brahmaji. So that is the person we are talking about. So in Vedanta we do not, if you are thinking that we are talking about one individual per person as we are discussing the various verses, then we are approaching it the wrong way. We are talking about the phenomena. So when we talk about light, we are not talking about light in this bulb. We are talking about light as a phenomena. Understand? So similarly, we are not talking about individuality through this body. We are talking about individuality as a phenomena. So here, when this man of wisdom has discovered his nature to be both para and avara. Para, which is transcendental, which is beyond all conditionings, which is another name for it is Paramatma, Brahman, and avara, the one who has as if become conditioned, and that is the Brahmaji. So or experiencing the matter. So Brahmaji is also experiencing space, air, fire, water, earth. He has not created space, air, fire, water, earth. You see? So you are also experiencing space, air, fire, water, earth. So he who is, here it says, Chidyant Tasmin Drushte Paravare. Where is his attention? His attention is on Paravare. Para avara. Para is on the Paramatma, and at the same time avara, the phenomena. And he does not get caught up in the phenomena. See? Why he does not get caught up in the phenomena? Because from the point of para, the avara also is para alone. See? See, at the Hridaya Granthi, this, what do you call, Anahat Chakra, this is where you first experience the consciousness is separate to matter. But that is not the complete journey. Remember the second verse that we did in this chapter? First was recognizing how objective knowledge takes place. Then weaning your mind away from that and then contemplating, coming to realize that this whole objective knowledge cannot take place without the self, or coming to recognize that I thought and that thought bring about the objective knowledge. And then when it comes to I thought and that thought does not matter, because it keeps changing. So who is this I thought? Who is this I? When you question that, you come to the second stage, which is I am the conscious self, I am the Atma. Even this is not equal to realization, because this Atma needs to recognize that it is not one per person, but it is one without a second. So this person who has bhidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva sanshayah, once this knot of avidya kama karma has been pierced through, has been broken through, has been transcended, has been undone, then chidyante sarva sanshaya, all doubts whatsoever, once and for all, are cut asunder. There is no doubt left about anything. Because what is happening? Once ignorance itself is gone, then only the Atmic knowledge is there, the total knowledge is present. And therefore this student, this seeker now is abiding in his own self. He has got no doubts as to his true identity. He has got no doubt about that. Then kshiyante chasya karmani, and such a person is no longer chidyante sarva sanshaya, all his doubts are cut asunder. Kshiyante chasya karmani, and for such a person, kshiyante means reduced. All the effects of the karma are reduced, or eventually they vanish or become impotent for him. Karma will still go on for the outside person who is looking at him. But the karma and the result of that action, there is no one to own it anymore. See, the problem with us is we feel guilty, we feel, anxious. I should have done that, I shouldn't have done that, isn't it? Because we are identified with the karma. But a realized person, a person who has cut through the knot of the heart, for him, he has recognized his true identity, and as a result of that, there is no one owning the action. We think that I am acting. Right? Why we think that way?
Ego. Because of the ego.
It's a very open answer. What is actually happening? Why are you?
Because of the body identification.
Because of the identification. Ego is a ghost which appears because of this identification. But you have got identified. So don't keep thinking that you are the ego. Stop. You look at yourself as that phenomena. You are that truth, that conscious principle, that infinite principle is expressing through the mind as the reflected consciousness. That reflected consciousness that you are is expressing as two things. The I thought and the that thought. I thought is the sentiency and that thought is the matter. So both is you only. Because how do you know matter? How do you know matter? Through thoughts. So I thought plus that thought is the matter, I thought is the sentient principle or the life principle. You see? Or you can say the life principle expressing as I thought, whichever way you put it. That Chidabhas, reflected consciousness, then as if appears as I thought and that thought. So this identification is the problem. That we have accepted ourselves to be the body, we have accepted ourselves to be only this body. Acceptance of ourselves to be this body is also not a problem. Also not a problem. But only this body is a big problem. Because Brahmaji is also identified. So if you identify with the body but not this body, then you will be identified with all the bodies. That is the Virat Purusha. The one who is identified with all the minds. And it's not very difficult. You have to just sit with it. How do you know all the people? All living beings? Because you have a mind. So, all those living beings with their minds, are they in your mind? That is the mind of Brahmaji. Now you have to sit with this for it to unfold. You have to sit with it. See? Just open for her. She'll go. You have to just sit with it. Now, it may not be your experience right now, but I will say it is your experience. It is your experience. Because all the people, all the living beings are only an idea in or only a thought in your mind. Just like when we are in the dream, all the people, animals, trees, etc. are in your dream. They are talking, they are thinking. But are they outside of you? No. But what happens is, now you have right now you are accepting it. But the moment class is over, you will stop. You will not stop, but you will get identified with, I am only this body. And others are not me. And then the whole play will begin again. And that's why regular contemplation on these type of topics is very necessary. To expand your experience to a point where there is experienceless experience. Kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. And therefore, he who knows, what does he gain? Bhidyate hridaya granthi. So, it's not that you can cut through the knot of the heart. No, thinking in this manner, how I was explaining just now, automatically your knot of the heart will get undone. This is very, very important point. Do not try to undo anything in your life. You will only create reaction. You will only create friction. You have to flow through life, whatever it is presenting, but with a non-reactionary attitude. And then where should be your attention? Your attention should be on the truth. Your attention should be on the self. And keeping your attention on the self, you move through life. Slowly, slowly, the impact of life, the attraction of life, the conditioning or the limitation of the life, of the world, I shouldn't say life, of the world, it will start weakening. The only antidote for that is we putting our attention on ourselves, being ourselves. And even though we are, then it becomes difficult. How? Sit in meditation, read such topics. If you have heard what I have said, listen to it again and again. So many Mahatmas are saying the same thing in different ways. Keep contemplating and don't keep listening. Make it your own. Take it and sit with it till it goes deep inside of you. See? Then there is a possibility. And ask yourself, why am I struggling so hard to know myself? Why am I struggling so hard to undo things? to let go of things. Do I do anything substantial to let go when I go to sleep? No. Then when it comes to spirituality, why do I find it so hard? We have created that concept in our mind that it is hard. So even if out of default your mind is saying it is hard, it is difficult, it is, my God, how many, watch, don't react to those thoughts. Slowly, slowly their impact will reduce. Speak to yourself positively. Even don't speak even positively, only contemplate in this manner. And as a result, when a person moves beyond the or as the knot of the heart is undone, a sense of completeness starts reverberating through him. He starts abiding in that completeness. Now, this desire is the result of sense of incompleteness. Abidance is not a sense, it is. Now, such a person can never get affected by sense of incompleteness. Therefore, there will be no desire. If there is no desire, there will be no karma. See? Then whatever needs to be done is done automatically. See, we think that we are, because we are identified with matter, we feel that we have to do something in order to gain something, isn't it? But the truth is, matter moves by itself. Sentient, the conscious principle doesn't do anything to make it move. Example, think. Only a comparison, but think of an example.
Involuntary movements.
Involuntary movement. Tell.
Like heart beating and
heart beating and all those things.
But a dead person's heart does not beat. What you're saying is there, but my point again, I'll make the statement. In the presence of the conscious principle, matter as if moves through various states.
like water into gas and
Correct?
Yes.
But in yourself or any other, yes, that's example. The example that comes to my mind is
Thoughts moving
Yeah,
in.
growth is
correct. The sun appears, all activity on the earth begins. Sun disappears, all activity ceases. Is the sun creating the activity? Sun is not creating the activity. Sun is there all the time. See? Same way. This is just, then you will say, oh, all the activity that takes place on the earth is where the life is. Inert matter does not move. Then we bring another example. When there is a mother magnet and iron filings, magnet moves, the filings which have got no life in them, they also start moving, they also get magnetized, and then they also start attracting other things to themselves, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
in the presence of magnet.
in the presence, but after that the magnet goes away, still that ability is there for some time.
Yeah.
Exactly the same way. This mind, this breath, this body, the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, the waking world, deep sleep world, and dream world, all of them are aspects of matter. Matter going through gross, which is waking, subtle, which is dream, and causal, which is deep sleep. It keeps moving in these. If you want to take these three into another classification, the matter becomes manifest and matter becomes unmanifest. And this shunting of matter is continuously going on. Not only at individual level, even at the totality level. Brahmaji also shunts through. His day is 1000 years long. And in each year, he has got 74 yugas. So after 1,000 years of day, then there is equal 1,000 years of night also. When night comes, Brahmaji with his whole world vanishes. Just like we I vanish. So what is happening in micro, same thing is happening at macro level also. This is what the scriptures say. And this is what your experience is. Now you connect and stop thinking of yourself as only an individual expressing through this body. See? So once you start accepting yourself that I am that, and a wise man has come to that. He has accepted as well as he is being that, and therefore he is not at the mercy of ignorance anymore. There is no sense of incompleteness within him, and therefore wherever he is, there the world is. There is no place that he is not. So there is nowhere for him to reach. There is nothing for him to gain. You see that? If that is the state of a realized person or a wise man, start living that right now. What is there for me to gain? What is there for, where can I go and find the joy? That does not mean that you do not, you do not work and you do not, activity will happen anyway because that program is there within you. See, but there is no ownership of it anymore. And in this way, such a person is totally independent, and and in the wake of this self-knowledge, the entire progeny of ignorance, kama and karma, are undone. This act of undoing does not create anything, only that which had appeared as a result of the entanglement of the self with ignorance has been disentangled. And where is this disentanglement? It's only in the heart. Because the entanglement only was an appearance, and you are attached to that appearance. Now that attachment is broken, entanglement is gone, but whatever needs to express will continue to express. Once a wave has recognized that it is water while it is still a wave, the wave will not vanish because it has recognized. It will continue to live out its life. Parikshit Maharaj from Bhagavatam, I don't know if I mentioned him last class. He was told in 7 days he will die, to be stung by the Takshaka snake. He looked for answers, heard the Bhagavatam. On the 7th day, the snake came and killed. But what did he kill? He killed
with the
dead body. The conscious principle, Parikshit ji, he had already left the body. See? So what is this Takshakanag? Let it be, you can call it death. Another name for death is?
Ignorance.
Okay, another name for it is, death is time. Death is a principle, it's happening every moment. So are we, another way of looking at it, continuously the ravages of time, of objects, of everything is attacking this body all the time. It's eating away at you continuously. When your attention is on that, Oh, I'm getting old. Oh, my hair is white. Oh, my vision is gone. Oh, my bones are aching. And I must survive. I must remain fit. Blah, 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 blah. Goes on and on. Because your attention is on the world. Not just, yeah, body and the world. But when our attention is on the Atma, you may still go to gym, you may still do other things, but you are not affected by it. See? So such a person, so here it says this act of undoing does not create anything. No, we are not undoing. This is not an act. We can put it both ways. Either you just are, or you are remembering yourself, and by remembering that unconclusive thought that I am the infinite, I am the Paramatma, I am the conscious principle, I am the one in whose presence all the thoughts are coming and going, I am the one, I am the life principle. If that is what you call as an act of thinking, you are choosing to think those thoughts, then you can call it as an act, but it is not leading to any result. This undoing happens of its own accord. Just like when you go to sleep. So, in this manner, sarva sanshaya kshidyante, all the doubts are continuously cut asunder. And what are the doubts? Here beautifully Swamiji has said, can I really exist other than the body? Is it possible for me to exist other than the body? Not being convinced of this point that I can exist other than the body, we continue to live as the body. We continue to take the world as real. We continue to desire things in the world. We continue to desire solutions from the world. Why? Because we are not convinced what the scriptures are saying. Second, how can I be akarta, non-doer, abhokta, non-enjoyer when I am doing all the time and enjoying or suffering? So when you are stuck at the mental level, emotional level, then there the ego is expressing as the doer and the enjoyer, and you are thinking, scriptures say I am not the doer, I am not the enjoyer. I am only thinking. I am only doing the act of thinking. I am only doing the act of enjoying. And the scriptures are saying I am not that. How can I be not that? And it goes into a negative spiral, and you keep getting caught up in your own web of thoughts. It requires a special mind. It requires a special disposition of your mind in which you are able to intuit that this conscious principle that you essentially are is akarta and abhokta, that it is neither the doer nor the enjoyer. And I just explained few minutes ago, matter functions of its own accord. Matter functions of its own accord. In the presence of what do you call conscious principle, it functions of its own accord. See? Third, how can I believe that there is only one Atma? Again, a non-acceptance, acceptance of the fact that Atma, or this phenomena that is experiencing, that is one without a second. There are not many Atmas. But my reality is, I can see her, I can see her, I can see her, I can see him. Oh, how can I say that there is only one Atma? Then such a person understands all the examples. He can understand that the one Atma, see, saying that it is a phenomena, the phenomena of water expressing through total conditionings is called ocean, and water expressing through individual conditioning is called wave. Which one is true, ocean or wave?
Both are not true.
Both are not true. Both are not true. It's all water only. If you think as a wave, you want to reach the ocean. As long as you are a wave, you are continuously seeking, who is my cause? What is my cause? From where did I come? Where did I come? The moment this question erupts in the mind, that answer for that question is given as Ishvara, the ocean. And when we are saying it is not one Atma per person, but there is only one, then wave is being told this phenomena of water expressing through totality, that is the only one phenomena. There is no second phenomena. What is the second phenomena? Of water expressing through wave. Because wave is already included in the ocean. Wave is already included in the ocean. Now to comprehend, you have to sit with it. You have to sit with it. So from individuality you come to totality. From totality you come to non-duality. But in Vedanta, we bypass the interim step. What is that interim step? Totality. We bypass the totality. We come straight to water. And from water standpoint, we look how this phenomena is functioning itself. Because to go from individuality to totality, that is called Laya Prakriya. That is called step-by-step liberation. That is called the Bhakti Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, etc., Kriya Yoga. In that because you feel there are different stages that you have to reach. In Vedanta, there are no stages to be reached. Other than accept yourself as that one without a second principle.
Swami, ocean is compared to Ishvara, so wave is
Individual.
compared to individual.
Jiva.
It's a jiva, not
Jiva.
Atma.
Jiva.
Jiva.
If Jiva disidentifies with its form, then it will recognize itself as Atma, the conscious principle. When we use the word conscious principle, then that conscious principle, in Bhakti it will be called God, in Vedanta it will be called Brahman. But first you have to recognize it within yourself. See? It's an automatic stage. You cannot just jump from Jiva to Paramatma. Those stages, it will come like that only. Jiva to Atma, Atma to Paramatma.
That's the Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman, isn't it? That's the Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. Worship of, like Ishvara. If we think of ourselves as the body, we worship Ishvara, the totality.
Yes. And the last doubt, if the Atma is asanga, unattached, devoid of bondage, why should I struggle to do sadhana since I am already liberated? This is the lazy man's statement. That if I am already that which the scriptures are saying, yeah, I accept. I am Paramatma. Then why should I do sadhana? Why should I go to satsang? Why should I study scriptures? Why should I sit in meditation? Why should I do pranayam, yoga sadhana, etc., etc.? Why should I do all that if I am already that?
He should.
But this person is making a mistake. What is that mistake he is making?
He should be.
He is accepting that he is that, but he has got no experience. Second, he is identified with the body still.
Because why should I do that?
Exactly.
Struggle.
So one must continue to strive, but you should know the big picture also. What is your end goal? What is your end destination? Destination is equal to no destination. But till then, we must continue to do sadhana, continue to meditate, continue to seek, continue to desire to know the self, knowing fully well that in the end, this desire to know the self also must go away. This objectivity also must go away. That this objectivity, this seeking, this searching, this pining, this sadhana, everything is happening in my presence. I know that mind is thinking all these things, is desiring all this. How do I know? Because I am. Isn't it? Asya karmani ch kshiyante, and therefore that all the actions, the third gain is that the actions and the consequence of actions in the form of papa and punya have no more strength or cannot anymore affect this person who has cut the knot of the heart. And therefore all karmas, upasanas, etc. have value only up to a point, and beyond that point they have no more strength in helping us to discover our own true nature. Such Brahmajnanam is the only path to know one's own self. I explained all this already. So are we having any of these four doubts? That's the question. Can I really exist other than the body? When we listen to satsangs, has this question propped up? Be truthful to yourself. Has this question come, how can I be a non-doer? How can I be a non-enjoyer when I am doing all the time and enjoying and suffering all the time? I only complain. I only get excited. I only say that I have to do this, I have to do that. And I am saying that, and you are saying that I am the non-doer and I am the non-enjoyer. How can it be so? This is because of this. This does not click that you are the non-doer or non-enjoyer because you are identified. When you just sit quietly and do a little bit contemplation, you will recognize. Just like you are the non-breather, breathing is happening. You are the non-digester, digesting is happening. You are the non-grower, the body is growing by itself. You are not doing anything. Similarly, you are not the thinker. Thinking is happening. Just a little bit cool mind and think in this direction. Begin systematically from the outside and come towards the mind. That everything is happening of its own accord. You are not doing it, but this false sense of ownership that I am the doer and I am the enjoyer is due to the identification. You don't blink the eyes are blinking by themselves. You don't hear, the hearing is taking place. You don't smell, the smelling is taking place. Similarly, you don't think, thinking is taking place by itself. Watch. That even if you say, I am not going to think, still the mind will think of its own accord. For some time it may sit quiet. But when it starts thinking, immediately say, oh shit, I am only thinking. Again I thought. Because the moment thought came, you identified with it. Therefore you say, I thought again. But where did you initiate that thought? No. It might happen even while you are listening to me right now. Sometimes the mind goes here, sometimes the mind... Are you thinking it or the mind is thinking it? If you say you are the doer, then you must have initiated that thought. But did you? No. Similarly, when I am speaking, am I initiating these thoughts? I don't know what the next word is going to come out of my mouth. See? So catch this. We have to catch this. And this impact of the matter, which is so luring, we make it important by being with ourselves all the time, as much as we can. Through contemplation, through meditation. This is supported by quotation from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Tameva vidvan atyeti mrityum panthana chetaraha nyatva devam pashaha nihi kshinai kleshairna janma bhak. He says, this knower of Brahman alone transcends death. See, it is not that now I have become the conqueror of death. A realized person may say it. But can you say that right now? But once you start seeing, hey man, from childhood, since I was born till today, I have observed the birth of the waker and the death of the waker, the birth of the dreamer and the death of the dreamer, the birth of the deep sleeper and the death of the deep sleeper. And every day I am going through this. Why should I? See, our attention should be that which includes everything. So, waker includes the entire waking world within in the womb of his mind. The dreamer includes the whole dream world in the womb of his mind. And the deep sleeper includes the total unmanifest within his mind. Mind is nothing but consciousness, on which all these three are appearing and disappearing. So see, so instead of focusing, we are right now in waking world, so rather than focusing on you and getting lost in it because there is no solution in the world, then where should I put my attention on? If I want to be sane person, where should I put my attention? On that in which this whole waking world is included, isn't it? Because this is your experience. If you stand back and see the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper yesterdays, the whole waking world was for the waker, the whole dream world was for the dreamer. Both of them appeared at the same time. It was not that the first world appeared and then you appeared as the dreamer. It cannot happen. Be attentive for this. So now, if that is your data for so many years, now apply it in present moment, that this whole waking world is present within the womb of this waker. Waker meaning the waking mind. This conscious principle that I am itself became, remember what was it? The reflected consciousness appears as the I thought and the that thought. So in the total structure of thing, the waking experience, the waker is the I thought, and the waking world is the that thought. See how beautiful it is. So keep your disposition such that rather than individual interaction, that will go on anyway, but you keep a disposition within that you are the observer of this phenomena called the waker and the waking world. Because you already have the experience of the phenomena called dreamer and the dream world, and every day you give it zero value. Isn't it? So now, if we have to give zero value to this waking world and waker phenomena, which has appeared out of you, which is appearing, you have to take a different position, not as a waker. So let the mind do what it wants to, because it has got its program, it will work itself out, but you continue to take that position.
So you watch the waker as well as the
You
world.
cannot watch like I am watching you, because
No,
waker is you only.
In your
Because waker is you only. You intuit it. You create that disposition, just have an understanding that what you are experiencing at this moment is the phenomena of waker and waking world. You are other than the waker and the waking world. At this moment. Where, if you start contemplating on this, where is your attention now? Is it on the body?
No.
It will not be. Is it on the breath? No. Is it on the emotions? No. Is it on some what all scriptures are saying? No. It is just come to the crux of it now. Hey, this is what it is. Yeah. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Meditation will happen. You don't have to do meditation. It will start. See? And in that moment, all your all that knot which was formed as a result of accepting yourself only as a waker, because of this waker, you accepted yourself as the waker, and therefore attachment to the waking world, immediately the knot was created. But the moment you take one step back and look at the whole phenomena, just like the dreamer came up with the dream world, the waker has come up with the waking world. Waker is also the I thought, dreamer is also the I thought. One is the gross world, one is the subtle world. Dream world is the subtle world. Waking world is the gross world. Deep sleep is the causal world. All the three places, the I is there. So which position are you taking? Are you taking as the waking I or the dream I or the deep sleep I, or are you taking the position of that I in whose presence all these three are coming and going, because that is your experience? Yesterday also you experienced the dream I and the deep sleep I and the waking I. But in waking we feel as if this is the only I. Just by contemplating on the waker alone, realization is not possible. Coming back to the self is not possible. You have to work on all the three. See? But where can you work on all the three? Only in the waking plane. Because in dream plane, the thoughts are too fast, you cannot slow down. The waking state is called the sat.
Consciously control it as well, can you?
Can't, because it's too fast. Because the thought production is too fast in dream.
And you also don't know the dreamer as well, because you are lost.
Even
in
if
the
you may know, you close your eyes right now. When you say sometimes so many thoughts come, you are dreaming only. They are not real. They are only figments of imagination which are troubling you. Sometimes on the seat of meditation an onslaught of thought comes, it's all dream. So you are aware of that it's your internal world. Dream is nothing but an internal world born out of your mind. There is no gross object There are no gross people. See? So the only place we can work on this, if we can use that word work on it, is only in the waking state. Because in deep sleep state you cannot think. In dream state it is the rajasic state, it is the thought production is too fast. In the waking state it is the sattvic state. The flow of thoughts is controllable, transcendable. But you can bring the dream state and the deep sleep state in the waking state and hit the axe on your foot anyway. It's possible. When the dream state appears in the waking state, then stress, tension, frustration, sleeplessness, and when all this comes, then such a person, because he is not able to handle that speed of thought which he experiences in dream it is releasing, but when he starts experiencing in the waking and he is not able to handle it, then antidepressant, drugs, etc., alcohol, or some who are better than this, they'll just go to sleep it off. See? So here, the knower Brahman alone transcends death. So when you see the whole phenomena of death, the waker appears and goes away, dreamer comes up and goes away, this deep sleeper comes and goes away. They are dying only. Now, same thing is happening at the totality level also. Brahmaji is coming and Brahmaji is going. The one who knows that this whole micro and macro are just mirror images. Micro is included in the macro, and I am the macro because the whole world is within me. Such a person has transcended death. He is not affected by, he has got no fear of death from that moment on. There is no other way to go beyond death other than self-knowledge. Just knowing that waker comes and goes, dreamer comes and goes, deep sleeper comes and goes is not equal to free from death. You have to abide in the self. Having recognized that I am not the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper because they come and go, then the question is, who am I? I am the one in whose presence these three come and go. So then get established in that presence. Be that. Then there is no question of any fear of death. Having known the self, one destroys the snares that bind and give 5 kleshas are weakened and given up. Such a wise man is not born again. So what are the snares? Here it is told that the snares are Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These are the pashas, these are the snares, these are the traps which keep us identified to the world. And what are the kleshas? Kleshas are avidya, kama, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. Avidya is ignorance. From ignorance comes desire, kama. From when kama, desire is satisfied, it leads to raga, that you like something because you got satisfaction. If you didn't get satisfied, dvesha, I don't want that. And the fifth one is abhinivesha, which is identification. And in these 5 kleshas cannot affect a wise person. See? Same thing was put as avidya, kama, karma. That karma is then broken up into 3 more. Raga, dvesh, abhinivesh. And because there is no impact of these kleshas, such a person is not born again, na janma bhag. This thought is also stated in the Kathopanishad and Brihadaranyaka Upanishad quoted in the next sloka. Devam matva harsha shokau Devam matva harsha shokau Jahat yatraiva dhairyavan Jahat yatraiva dhairyavan Nainam kruta krute punya Nainam kruta krute punya Pape tapayatah kvachit Pape tapayatah kvachit. He says, this seeker with patience and wisdom, having known the self, gives up all joys and sorrows while living in this body. Earlier acts of commission and omission and the sins of or merit do not ever inflict pain or afflict regrets in him. So what does it mean that having known the self gives up all joys and sorrows while living in? What do you mean by gives up all joys and sorrows?
Ownership.
He is not attached to them anymore. Whether the joys or sorrows, the mind is experiencing it. Who cares? Who cares? Think about it. Just little bit coolly. When you go to sleep, your attention is on the sleep, and someone says you're in the bed, not sleeping yet, and someone says, "Can I get you a cup of hot chocolate?" Sometimes the feeling from inside comes, nice, warm, it's such a cold day, beautiful, someone is bringing it. But you couldn't be bothered. Why? Because you're just about to sleep. Just about to glide into sleep. You are hearing it, but you will not even answer that person. Why? Because sleep is your the joy of the sleep is greater than the disturbance of drinking the hot chocolate. Because why disturbance? Because then you have to come out of the bed, you have to sit up, then you have to drink, then rinse your mouth, and then go back to bed again. The comfort, the warmth, the coziness that you already built up, which is leading to sleep, it's not worth giving up that, isn't it? So when you have come to recognize the warmth, the comfort of contemplating on the self is not worth giving up. It's not worth giving up for the temporary joys and sorrows. But for that you have to first get convinced that you are that, you want that is your end game of this life. Rest everything is okay, but ultimate, this one. So it's not that he is giving up joys and sorrows. He is not giving up. Urvarukameva bandhanat. Mrityor mukshiyam amridat. Like the pumpkin or the cucumber, having grown on the tree, when he becomes matured, the mother plant leaves the fruit does not leave the mother plant. Similarly, you are born in this world, you are grown in this world, and when such a person who is a product, seeming product of this world, born from a womb, becomes matured, wise, urvarukameva bandhanat. The world leaves such a person without disturbing him. So it's not that he is giving up, the world is giving up. But in the language we use that. Understanding needs to be there.
When you say world gives up, that means there are no more thoughts basically
No, thoughts will be there.
to attract.
The attraction may be there also, but there is no one to give heed to them. There is no one to give heed to them. Is the world not functioning when you are sleeping? This is at a very low level. If you are sleeping, is the world not functioning outside? It is. But are you available to it? No. So realized person is abiding in himself. The world is, but he is not in state of ignorance. He is not in a state of ignorance. He is not in a state. He is an absolute wakeful state. But because his attention is on the self, on something higher, he is not disturbed by the tricklings of, attractions, distractions, joys, sorrows. You watch, sometimes you sit, not here, you go to India, mosquitoes come and you can't sit in meditation. But some days you are sitting, and even if a fly comes and sits, you know the fly has come and sat. You know the mosquito has come and sucking your blood. But there is no reaction from within towards it. Today we were sitting, when we came out, the boy said, Swamiji, I heard the trucks. No, I saw the body sitting. I heard the trucks because garbage or some trucks were coming. When you are meditating, that time more disturbance comes. Seeming. So one car came, then someone came and revved it, went away. Then he said, but my mind did not get disturbed. Very good. So you are aware that all that is there, but you are not giving value to it. Because who will give value? The one who gives value is not available. He is available to his own essential nature. He is available to a thought higher than the traffic noise, subtler than the traffic noise, more diviner than the traffic noise. So in this way, enam kruta akruta punya pape kvachit na tapayataha. Such a person is happy that what has been done or what has not been done, such thoughts do not go into. He is absolutely content, no regrets of any sort. No regrets. If we can come to that disposition that whatever I did in my life in the past was to the best of my ability, mistakes, successes, failures, everything put together, you will be the most content person. You will be the most content person. Such is Kruta Krutat. Means what? The one who is absolutely comfortable with where he is, as he is, what he is, without any expectation of what he wants to be. That is Kruta Krutyata. See? For such a person, there is nothing to do anymore in this life. Whatever has to be done has been done or will be done. That worry also is not there. Now the teacher concludes, Ityadi shrutayo bahvayaha, Ityadi shrutayo bahvayaha, Puranai smrutibhi saha, Puranai smrutibhi saha, Brahma jnane anarthahanim, Brahma jnane anarthahanim, Anandam chapya ghoshayan, Anandam chapya ghoshayan. These scriptural statements, as quoted in the above shlokas, and many more, along with many statements from Puranas and Smriti Granthas, declare that the knowledge of Brahman leads to removal of all miseries and attainment of bliss. So we have not started the chapter yet. Brahmananda. This is a statement of fact that knowledge of Brahman, knowing the self as the Brahman, is all that there is. And once you know yourself as the Brahman, as the Paramatma, as the total, then all miseries once and for all will leave you, and and, uh, and that is what is told here. That all the anartha is all the obstacles, all the miseries, all the pains, including death, will be removed. The Brahma Jnanam is of such nature that the cancer of loss cannot affect it. In this way, it is established that Shoka Nivritti and Nirankusha Trupti. So, what was Nirankusha Trupti? Unadulterated bliss, that transcendental bliss. Ashanti, Shanti. Unhappiness, the opposite of unhappiness is happiness. But Prashanti is the transcendental happiness. So similarly here, Shoka Nivritti, and we are not talking about Trupti, we are talking about Nirankusha Trupti. That Nirankusha, that there is no hook. It is free of all hooks. What is the hook? Which brings you down to Dukkham is the thought, is the identification, is the kleshas, is the pashas, the anger, greed, jealousy, etc. is the thought itself. When you have disidentified with the thought itself, then let the thoughts come and go. How does it matter? You are not there available to that thought. If you are not available to that thought which is erupting in your mind, it will die its own death. It is dying anyway. We created an unhealthy situation by identifying with the thought. See? And therefore, this the bliss which is of undying nature are possible only on the strength of Brahma Jnanam and not by any other means. So only by knowing the self as Brahman, not merely the self alone. Not merely the self alone. You have to know the self as Brahman. So know the objective world, come to know the knower of the objective world, you come to the Atma, then you recognize this Atma as the Paramatma. Then the journey is complete. It's only a 3-step. And these 3 steps are happening all the time. All the time. Only recognition is required. And that recognition is also taking place. Sometimes of its own accord, and sometimes when you come to satsang, it becomes evident. But now what is required is steadiness of that knowledge, abidance. For that, whatever is, the only way is not by thinking, by only way is coming to abide. Come to this point again, and just 3 steps. Objective knowledge. Who knows this objective knowledge? Me. Who is this me? The Atma. This Atma is itself the Paramatma. Then the phenomena will continue, the waking dream and deep sleep will continue, the thoughts will continue, the relationships will continue, hunger will still come, anger may come or not come. Huh? But there is no, because all these are fluctuations of the mind alone. But there is no owner available, because he is abiding in his own essential nature. In this manner the wise men live, in this manner the scriptures say, they were quoting that let it be the Shrutis, they quoted the Shrutis, they quoted the Gita, they quoted the Shweta Shvetar and Mandaka Upanishad, and then the Smriti Granthas, all scriptures, all masters, realized masters, reflect this. They talk about this. The scriptures are saying it again and again. But how do we take that, what they are saying? How do we internalize it? How do we approach it? We to take it only as a book knowledge, or are we, while listening, subjective about it? That is important. That is important. So why was this topic till 11th, 10th verse taken like this? That if you have any doubts that you can gain knowledge from the world, drop it here and now. Second, if you think that you can keep 1 foot in the world and 1 foot in the spirit, throw that out of the window also. Don't live in an imaginary world that I will have the best of both. Not possible. Because both is essentially one. Both is essentially one. And that you are. Get established. Be that. Now the teacher begins to explain the nature of Brahma Jnanam, what it is and what it is not, and what are the various types of Ananda. Anandastrividho Brahma. Anandastrividho Brahma. Anando Vidya Sukham Tatha. Nando Vidya Sukham Tatha. Vishayananda Ityadau. Vishayananda Ityadau. Brahmanando Vivichyate. So, the Ananda Trivido Brahma. So that this Ananda is of 3 types, and namely Brahmananda, Vidyananda and Vishayananda. So Brahmanando Vidya Sukham Tatha. Vidya Sukham means the joy born out of Vidya, meaning knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of the self. And the last is Vishayananda. Vishayananda meaning that the objective world that you see is also nothing but Brahman alone, the reality alone. Is that your experience at this moment? No. But ask the ocean or the water. Ask the ocean. Yeah, all the waves are me only. All the names and forms are me alone. But the ocean doesn't get disturbed because of names and forms of the waves. So we have to come to that point where we are able to contemplate and come to our abidance in such a manner that even while living in the world, there is no duality of the world. Even while living in the world, there is no duality of the world. It is not going to be possible for this to come about by looking at the world. Some shift has to take place within. When we are able to see that the mind is nothing but me alone. That mind is nothing. What is mind? Consciousness with thoughts is mind. So I am alone expressing through the mind also. It cannot be without me. Anyway, we'll take that topic there. We can't go to the last chapter straight away. Vishyanand is the last chapter.
Consciousness with the thoughts is mind.
Mind. Just like cloth is with cloth, essentially is right now there is no crease on it. But if crease come on top of it, because there is some pressure applied, or it is thrown in a haphazard manner.
That's also.
So that's crease, but actually it is cloth only, no? Is it other than cloth? But there is an appearance of crease, there is appearance of wave, there is appearance of ornament, there is appearance of thought. Essentially it is consciousness. But that is the last stage. Then it is complete. So we'll look into this point, these three. The first chapter is Yoganandaha, Brahmananda Yoganandaha. Second is Atmanandaha. Third is Advaitanandaha. And fourth is Vidyanandaha. And the fifth is Vishayanandaha. And in this way, our abidance in ourselves will be complete. So merely abidance in ourselves as knowing Satchit Anand is not, it is enough, no doubt. If you continue to remain being in the self, eventually, but what is that experience? If it has to be given words, it will be these 5 chapters. What is that experience of a wise man with respect to yoga, with respect to Atma, with respect to knowledge, or wisdom, with respect to the objective world? What is his approach? What is his disposition? That will be enumerated in the coming chapters. Just sit for meditation for 5 minutes. We'll conclude Om Purnamada and then sit down. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Just sit quietly for 5-7 minutes. Don't try to work out what was said. The first thought that comes, catch it and come back to yourself. Don't focus on thinking. Focus on be the presence in whose presence the thinking is taking place. शांति हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि